All right, everybody, welcome to 10th Year Seniors. This is our inaugural podcast. Initially, we were supposed to wait for our official launch to get the word out there to everybody, but we had to call for an emergency podcast in this special situation. My name is Ronaldo Dorset, here with John Mark Nutt.
Hey, guys, what's up?
And Tage Adderley.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, and like we were saying, our inaugural podcast is on this one very special topic that had everybody buzzing. And Tage, get to it and tell us what it is.
Anyway, last night, Jeff Rogers' game, Kyrie Irving, he kind of had a fit, and it kind of is a big deal in these parts. I don't know how many people know about it, but I've heard quite a bit about it, and we were all there last night. Y'all know what happened last night? Y'all were there?
Just to give you some background, in the summer basketball camps are one of the biggest things going on in the Bahamas in terms of the sporting landscape. And the Jeff Rogers camp has been going on for 27 years. It's the most well-known camp we have in the country. Every year he brings down NBA stars. Pretty much everyone that has touched a basketball in this country has grown up as a part of the Jeff Rogers camp. So it's a mainstay in Bahamian basketball culture. Like Tage said, it's a big deal. So everyone comes out during the last week of the camp at the fun night. That's where you see the kids perform the drills in front of their parents. You see the camp instructors play against the NBA stars, and that's what happened Thursday night. That's what everyone was looking forward to. The night started great. The kids were doing their drills. The parents got involved. Everybody was a part of the night. It was a good time. Then you had the celebrity versus the instructors game. Klay Thompson couldn't be a part of it. Michael Thompson was there, but everybody really came to see Kyrie Irving. He was the headliner for the camp. And for much of the game, he lived up to that billing until Kyrie walked off the court. And that's where we picked up on today.
Yeah, he decided to spontaneously just walk off the court with what may be the most expensive backpack I've ever seen in my life. It was very nice. It looked bedazzled. I don't know what was in it. It was like MCM. It was fancy, I guess.
Wasn't that the biggest deal, though? Because we were all upset that Kyrie walked off the court. But I feel like 5 minutes after everybody got over the fact that he left the game, everybody was talking about his backpack. And if your backpack was the biggest impression that you left on a group of kids, there's something wrong with that. There's something really wrong with that.
In his defense, it was a very, very nice backpack.
I don't think it was as expensive as people thought it was, but
No, I looked it up. It's $810.
$810.
It's only $810. No big deal.
For an NBA player who's making $90 million, $810 is like me spending $20.
Anyway, I was on the court with Kyrie, and I was on his team.
Tage to the Lakers. Tage to the Lakers.
Yes. So let's refocus. Let's get to Tage. Tell us what happened.
First of all, I'd like to point out that I was the first minute MVP. I had like 4 points in 1 minute.
Everyone will concur with that one. I mean, he actually had a slam dunk too.
I had a dunk. I don't know what was going on that led to that. I know he was going really hard. And he was talking very reckless.
I'll tell you what was going on.
Oh, here we go.
There was a point in the game about 8 minutes in, I think it was about midway through the first half, where Kyrie took a jumper and he felt that Teran Cox, he's a Bahamian professional player that plays in Libya. He felt that Teran came a little too close to him on a jump shot and undercut him while he was taking the shot. And so Kyrie started complaining to the refs. And he and Teran were going back and forth at it. You know, they were jawing like people would do in any basketball game, any pickup game, any celebrity game, NBA game, wherever you go. Basketball is the same. So he and Teran was going back and forth. People on the sidelines started to get into it. Kyrie started joining with people on the sidelines. And so the intensity of the game kind of picked up a bit. It picked up on Kyrie's end. It picked up on the end of a lot of the Bahamian players. And that's where the tension really entered the game. And it went from, just a fun night to something a little bit more.
I'll add that it was super intense for an all-star game, because usually all-star games is all highlights, no defense. As you can tell by my defensive effort, I just let everybody score. I wasn't really into playing defense.
Tage got a block there, so don't let him lie to you.
It was so easy though. He put the ball right there. Like I'm just gonna swat it. I don't care. But I wasn't trying to guard anybody. But Kyrie and Teron is really getting into it, and so was Mitch. And then, yeah.
But I mean, you're trying to. A lot of people are playing with an NBA All-Star here, so they're trying to put the best foot forward against them. So that, like I said, if you're playing an NBA All-Star, you want to put the best foot forward and get it going.
I think these guys are just a competitive group. Like if you got a guy in front of you, you really want to go at him. You know what I mean? You don't want to pussyfoot around.
So let's set the stage. The score was 89-88.
I'm impressed you remember that.
It was just under a minute left to play. Kyrie's select team had the ball. Somebody inbounded the ball to Kyrie, and Teron came over, tried to get the steal, and he was called for the foul against Kyrie, and that's
which I actually have the footage. I have the footage for that, and I reviewed the footage.
That was a clean play.
And it wasn't a hit at all. It's just like me tapping on your shoulder, and that's it.
He swiped for the ball, bro. That was a clean play. That was a legit go after the ball play. I mean, I don't know who makes those plays in All-Star games because, like I said,
it was kind of a Patrick Beverly, Russell Westbrook play. It's not a dirty play, but it's one, like you said, it's not one that people would make in an All-Star game. So I guess you can see where Kyrie was coming from. But nevertheless, the foul was committed. The foul was called, by the way. It's not like the refs let it go. The foul was called. Kyrie took exception. There were some words exchanged. He took off his jersey at mid-court, threw it on the ground, threw his jersey on the ground, stormed off the court. He got Josh Hairston. He took his entourage and left the gym while the entire gym was booing him from the court straight out of the front of the Kendall Isaacs gym. Kids were on the sideline crying. Everybody was confused as to whether the game was going to still go on. Pretty much chaos just ensued.
And Josh Hairston's defense, though, Kyrie was probably his ride home. Because who remembers Josh Hairston at Duke? Does anybody?
No, but that doesn't matter.
Let's be
but
honest. Kyrie was his ride for like the last 3 or 4 years of his life.
Like he probably didn't know. Like he was in a strange country. He doesn't know anybody here. He's never been here. He doesn't know how he's getting back to the hotel room. So
look,
I don't blame him for hanging on to the $90 million.
I can tell you something. Someone from flag football dropped home Byron Scott. Like that, they were asking for rides home. So I mean, seriously, but there were a bunch of kids coming down after the game who wanted to get autographs from Kyrie. Like there were specifically kids coming down, lining up, and I mean, it was civilized. They were lining up, saying, "You know what? I want to get Kyrie's autograph." And then you know what happened? Kyrie decided, I ain't gonna be here no more.
And that's, and that's the real tragedy in this whole thing. The point that a lot of these kids came here for the specific purpose of seeing Kyrie Irving play. Every time he made a three, the crowd erupted. They had a good time watching him play. Every time he made a crossover, people were really into it. People were really engaged. Like we said, Kyrie was the headliner. So kids were just waiting for that moment for the game to be over to go up and get a chance to take a picture with Kyrie, have him sign something, and they never got that opportunity. And, you know, it really sucks for the kids. You walked out of the gym, you saw kids crying because, you know, he's the hero.
He's a pretty big deal.
He's a hero.
But first of all, to counter John's point, I think Coach Scott, I've been working at Jeff Rogers since I was 19. And Coach Scott has been down there every year, and I'm pretty sure he knows his way around Nassau very good. Like he might mess around and hop on like a 10A and then find himself downtown.
He calls it his second home. I interviewed him last year.
He's very familiar, bro.
He called it his second home.
Hey, but for him at 10 p.m. at night, there's not really that many jitneys running around town. So I mean, like I said, it's the whole thing with Jeff Rogers. Jeff Rogers tries to keep a close crew of people with him, and like these people who come here, Jeff Rogers knows them personally and very well. So I know he was embarrassed with the situation last night because he actually came on the mic last night and he apologized to all the fans who showed up. Because if you're the headline of the All-Star game, you are the headline. He was LeBron in the Bahamas. Let's put it that way.
He's a pretty big deal, like in general.
Yeah, he's an All-Star. He's been in the league for 3 years. He's an All-Star.
All-Star game MVP.
Yeah.
He's All-Star game MVP this year.
We're used to seeing him play in the NBA. Play well, play in All-Star games.
MVP the last All-Star game?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
This year.
So he's a big deal. He's a top. That's just 25 player in the league right now at the minimum. And for him to carry on like that, I mean, people are just gonna, you know, Bahamians. Yeah. We put our opinion. Boy, they hate him now. You think anyone could be a Cavs fan?
They shouldn't be. And this is my problem. This is my problem with what happened. I understand you're an NBA player. You're one of the, like we said, you're one of the best players in the world. But you're not playing against guys that haven't been.
You're playing against professionals. These guys make money to play ball.
You're playing against professionals, and to make Kyrie look even worse, Torrey Cox is a Bahamian player who also plays in Libya. He took exception to a hard foul, and he exited the game. He actually got hurt. He came out of the game without incident, without making a scene or anything. He felt that his money would be in jeopardy, being hurt in an exhibition game, so he just left. Kyrie could have done the same thing. He could have exited the game, sat on the bench, and still had the opportunity to interact with the kids afterwards. Instead, he decided to throw a tantrum.
Fit. With 30 seconds left in the game,
that's why he's the Bahamas' most hated player right now.
Is he really Bahamas' most hated player? Since everybody loves LeBron now, since he went back to Cleveland.
Well, I'm gonna say he's 10th year senior's most hated player.
We do not like Kyrie. Well, John hates Kevin Love.
Yeah, I'm just about to add that on. I'm not a. We'll talk about that a little later, but I mean,
wait for Mitch to get back because we're not gonna get into that now.
If Kyrie and Kevin Love are on the same team, you better believe I don't like them at all.
We also dislike LeBron because he left Miami. But
Who leaves Miami?
That's not anything we're gonna get into right now. We're gonna go to our commercial break from our non-existent sponsors.
Yeah, we got to calm down a bit with this Miami-Cleveland thing, but we'll calm down and we'll get back to you as soon as this commercial break is over.
Yeah, from our non-existent sponsors.
Guess we won't have many Cavaliers fans this year. So anyway.
This is 10th Year Seniors Podcast, Initial Podcast. We're back with this guy. He's a professional basketball player from the Bahamas. He was a Division I college basketball player at the University of Idaho, and he played professional all over the world, most recently in Egypt. Mitch Johnson, he's actually been an instructor at Jeff Rogers Camp for the better part of the past decade, and he was actually at the event that we will now refer to from now on as Kyrie Gate. Mitch, how do you feel about what transpired with Kyrie at the celebrity game?
Honestly, man, I can't even. I'm at a loss for words. I'm still scratching my head at what happened.
That was kind of out there.
You know, Kyrie walked off. He put his jersey on the floor. He walked off. I still don't know what went on. I don't know what happened. I don't know what led up to that. All I know, it was crazy.
I know, like, it was a competitive game to be an all-star game. It was competitive because I was on the court. He was getting into it with y'all. He was really, like, because it started off as, like, one of those all-star type things, and you play, like, lackluster defense, and then you let the guy score, and then he kind of, like, it got real at some point.
It got kind of heated at the end. You know, every all-star game, it starts out, you know, everybody playing up until, like, probably the last 5 minutes of the game. But actually, it went up to the last 10, 12 minutes of the game. Everybody's playing hard, and Kyrie was actually playing hard, man. Kyrie's playing hard.
Mitch, you were on the court like we talked about. What were some of the things that Kyrie was saying that really was getting under guys' skin? Because we saw people getting really agitated. Man. What was some of the stuff that was going on?
You know what? You know, I'm not the type to talk about, you know, the ins and outs of what dudes be doing, but I really don't want to get into the details, but he was saying some crazy stuff.
We heard about Kevin Garnett saying the Honey Nut Cheerios thing, so I think it's okay if you tell us about this. You can let this one go.
I'll say one thing. He was saying, you know, I can tell my future kids about this. Y'all dudes ain't shh. You know what I mean? I can tell my future kids about this. Y'all dudes ain't ish. And that was crazy. But that was one of the things. But he actually said a lot of crazy things. But I'm not the type of dude to just be saying what do other dudes be saying. But that's one of the things.
Yeah, Mitch, you know, watching the entire game, we know that at times you weren't happy with the calls going on. Same thing with Kyrie. But, I mean, could you explain how, with the All-Star game, how the refereeing differs from a real game?
Oh, my goodness, man. I mean, you was there. Everybody was there. I mean, well, again, I don't want to speak on none of the negatives on what people was doing or whatever, but y'all was there. Y'all saw what was going on. That's all I can say. I'm actually gonna let y'all talk about that. That's it. I'm trying to be politically correct.
I played on a celebrity team. I don't know how I got on that team because I'm not a celebrity yet.
Stage to the Lakers. Stage to the Lakers.
Mitchell bust Jeremy Lin ass, but that's a story for another podcast. But we got some sketchy calls, so I don't know what's up with that. But
I mean, even Kyrie, he was like, "Yo, man, like." That was actually a foul. Like, I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, the refs, I want to say they was hospitable to the incoming players, but I mean, they were visitor friendly. It was cool, you know. My thing is, what all of that, it's okay, it's cool. What went down at the end, that didn't resonate with me.
Right. And like we were saying, you pretty much run the camp. So
Right.
how the kids feel and how the kids react to things, that's very important to you. That's the most important part of the night because like we talked about.
That's the most important
We saw
part
the
of
reaction from the kids after Kyrie stormed out of the gym. How did that sit with you?
Honestly, that was really disappointing. I mean, like you said, the kids look forward to that. A lot of people came here just to see Kyrie play. You know, I actually wasn't even gonna play. I was really tired. I was going through a lot of stuff. I was really tired, but they said, you know, Mitch, the kids came to see you to play. I was like, you know, the kids came to see Kyrie to play. But I played in anyway. But they came to see Kyrie to play, and a lot of kids were disappointed about that, and I was disappointed that the kids were disappointed, and man, words can't even explain how I feel about that, because I actually come here. I don't even. The only reason why I'm here is for the kids for this camp. I came here exactly for the kids for this camp. We was away. I was training. I only came here for the kids for this camp, and they actually looking forward to just for Kyrie to come to perform in front of them, and for him to do that, it was a bad example. The kid, I don't want them to think that that's what you know, on that level basketball players, what you able to do, you know.
I mean, we know that you have a history in the camp. Could you explain what type of history you have? Because I know you've been doing this camp since you've been a young boy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you could just...
I actually been coaching at the camp since I was 18, so it's been like 10 years since I've been coaching at the camp. But I've been going to the camp since I was 5, so it's been over 20 years at the camp. So I've been at this camp for 20 years, and I'm dedicated. I actually called Jeff from Egypt. I was in Egypt this year, and I called Jeff from Egypt, and I was like, Jeff, you know, I'm coming to the camp. I'm dedicated. Let me know the dates. And it's not about the money. It's not. I actually do this for the kids. You know what I mean? So it's a dedication from since I was 5. I've been going to this camp.
And how do you feel about Kyrie now? How do you think most Bahamians feel about Kyrie now?
Most Bahamians, you know how Bahamians are. I mean, Kyrie was actually one of my favorite players in the league. You know, one thing with me, I don't care about your attitude off the court. Kobe, LeBron. I met LeBron. LeBron is actually a stink person in person, attitude wise. I don't know if y'all met him and talked to him. You probably tried to act for the cameras. You talked to. I know you interviewed him with the Heat when they came in, but nah, he got a. I won't say he's just like Kyrie, but he doesn't. He's not have a good attitude. But I met him, and you know, off the court, and he's not that a good person to me. But I love his game on the court. The same to do with Kyrie. You know, his game. I mean, everybody can see. He's amazing on the court, but his attitude stinks.
Like, remember when Chris Paul came down a couple years back? How would you compare him to Chris Paul? Because we had a good time when
Yeah,
Chris
it's
Paul.
night and day.
That was
Chris Paul is a
that was
solid
just
dude.
different level.
Yeah, Chris Paul is a solid dude. You know, he was genuine. You can tell he was genuine. Kyrie, he's not as genuine as some of these other dudes in the NBA.
And so after him and Teron were really getting into it, you actually took the defensive assignment and you started guarding Kyrie. Was that because
You was getting in him.
was that because you saw it was getting so intense between them and you were kind of trying to buffer it a little bit?
My thing is, I'm a
what was
competitor. Honestly, dog, like, I played Clay 1-on-1. I played Mike Thompson 1-on-1. The window with NBA players and us, it's not that wide. And I think that we can compete against NBA players as much as anybody.
I like to add that I just said I'm not just being a homer because you're my bro, but I just like you're my brother, but I'm not just being a homer. But I did say before you came back that I think that there's some guys sitting on the bench in the NBA waving a towel that you would just destroy.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like
I mean, it is what it is.
As you say, if Mitch is in the NBA, I'll be a happy person because at least I know one NBA person in there. But that's another story. But
I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's politics, really. When I was in the D League, when I was in NBA D League, I played behind some NBA players that you would be surprised to know how much I dominated them in practice. Dominated in practice. And, you know, it's all because you're in them, you know, it's all politics. But it is what it is, but I'm not tripping off that.
so let me ask you this: next year, will you be participating in the Jeff Rogers camp?
I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to the Jeff Rogers camp. And it's not for anything else but other than the kids. And those kids actually look forward to this every year. When I was a kid, I looked forward to this. I look forward to seeing the NBA players. I look forward to seeing our instructors, the players who was playing overseas, and I'm gonna continue on with that tradition.
Look, I see how important it is to some of the players who am. So I'll tell you right now, next year I'll sponsor. 10th year senior will sponsor one kid for the camp. So if you guys pick a player who could be sponsored, let us know that 10th year senior will sponsor one kid in the camp because we know how important it is to the community.
Yeah,
You
know, we got some special kids in that camp. We got some. We actually got a kid who was probably like 8 or 9 years old, who was the best kid in the camp. You could tell he's going to be a future Division I player. So, you know, we got some special in the Bahamas. On the whole, people sleep on us. We got some special players in the Bahamas. We got so much talent. We got some special players all in the Bahamas, but we really got some special players in the camp in the younger age.
I like to add that Jeff Rogers is not. I mean, it does a lot for the kids, but I like to add that I never went there as a kid, but I was an instructor there since I was 19. Mitch put me on. He vouched for me, and I've been working there since I was 19. And I've been places and done things I've never thought I would do or go in my adulthood as a young adult with Jeff Rogers. It gave me a lot of opportunities, definitely. It does a lot of good in our community, and yeah, that's all I got to say.
Has Kyrie tried to reach out to Jeff or to any of the directors of the camp to, I guess, try to smooth the situation over?
You know what? His father actually called this morning, and Kyrie is really apologetic. He's actually gonna come next year and apologize in front of everybody. He wants to come back and apologize. His emotions got the best of him. You know, it happens to the best of us. It's happened to me before. I can understand. I actually can understand why he just got a $94 million contract. I can understand why he don't want to get hurt. But don't throw your jersey off and disrespect us. But that's another story. But he was apologetic. His father was actually really embarrassed about everything that happened. and he reached out through his father, through Jeff Rogers, and he wants to apologize. So he actually did talk about it.
Well, knowing that Kyrie wants to come back and say he's sorry, I mean, that's a big thing to the Bahamian people. But what we'd like to know is, year 28 is going to be for Jeff Rogers. We'll see Mitch there. Hopefully we see Kyrie there apologizing to people. I mean, is there anything you can say to the people about the Jeff Rogers camp and what it means and just what it is to the Bahamian people?
The Jeff Rogers camp has been, first of all, I'm a testimony through the Jeff Rogers camp. Tage could tell you, he's a testimony as well. I started out through Jeff Rogers since I was 5 years old. I didn't have to pay school fees from the 8th grade all the way through college just because of basketball. You know, and I got the best of teaching from the top instructors at the time through Jeff Rogers. And it's just a blessing to be able to get that type of coaching through a camp like that, and be able to develop from that. So Jeff Rogers is actually it's been a blessing through all my life, and I just want to give back. But like you said, well, Jeff Rogers has been a tool through getting to a higher level in basketball in the Bahamas.
All right, Mitch, where can the people expect to see you play next season? I know you were in Egypt last year.
Well, I played in Egypt last year. I might. It's been a couple offers. I might go to Europe this year. I don't know. Egypt actually was really good last year to me. So I wouldn't mind going back there. But if something better arrives, I will go. So
here's the real question I have. If you're in Europe, can I count on you to stay by you when I go to Europe?
Of course. Of course. You know what, John? First of all, we be lonely over there. I was in Egypt for 6 months. If I go to Europe, it's going to be for 9 months. If I go to Sweden, where it's potential, it might be Sweden or Switzerland. It might be for 9 months. Listen, no, for real.
Bro.
It's lonely over there. Like, that would be so, for somebody to come over there for a week, 2 weeks, a month, like, that would be so good. It's super lonely over there.
Well, I think I might end up in England somehow. It might have something to do with
See?
my girlfriend.
Like,
but if I go to England, I'm going to visit you. That's the first thing.
That's
Automatically.
I was in Egypt for almost 7 months this year. I flew my fiance in for 2 weeks. That's all she get off of work. It was like the most amazing time of my life. Like, I look for, like, it's prison without that. It's prison without that. If you was to come and visit when I was in Europe, like, that would be the best time of my life because I have nothing else.
Let's put it this way. If you go to Europe, I will be there. I don't know
man.
when, but I will come. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I will be in Europe. Egypt, I don't really know. Because, you know, as Dave Chappelle say, I don't with Africa. Like, I mean, that's just one thing. But if you're up in Europe, I guarantee you, check your Facebook, because I know you know me on Facebook. I will be there.
John Nut.
That's just how I am. I love to travel.
Hey, it's all up to you, bro. Hey, when I'm overseas, a lot of people tell you when they overseas, it actually gets really lonely. All we really got is internet. That's it. All we got is internet and Magic Jack. Yeah, I'm telling you, it gets lonely overseas, bro. We be over there for all that time. No family, no friends, no contacts. Right. Anything else?
All right. This is Mitchell Johnson, Bahamian national team swingman. You can catch him at the Central Basket Tournament.
He's a combo guard.
August.
He's the point guard.
August
he's
1st.
The point guard on that squad.
August.
I like
August,
the pass.
August 1st to 5th in Nayarit, Mexico, as the team tries to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Mitch, it's nice having you here for our first
appreciate you
podcast.
I appreciate you
This
guys.
is 10th year seniors,
Thank you.
the first of many.
Yes,
And
sir.
you can look forward to hearing from us. 10th year seniors signing off.
Sir.